Believe it or not, this is the 10th budget that I've presented to the commissioners. Round number. Tina thought that was funny. I'm sure everyone else does as well. But honored to present it and proud of the 23 budget that we're going to discuss tonight and grateful for the support by the Board of Commissioners to lead us down this path. Quickly beginning a quick review of 2022, we started off with swearing-in ceremony, President Zipfel and Vice President Rogers, as well as a new tax collector, Dan Reevy, which we discussed earlier with the new Act 57. And I believe Ken and Kristen snuck into that group shot amongst the elected officials there. Recapping some of our meetings, we had Mr. Dilks. The commissioners recognized him for his heroic efforts in World War II. We've had, over the years, just recently, Carmina Taylor in North Penn School District and the partnership that we're forming with this group, and we'll work together throughout that to see where that goes. Dr. Boston Road dedication, President Zipfel speaking to a very large crowd that day as we support this initiative to help Dr. Boston, who founded the VMSC and Lansdale Hospital, get the due credit for all of his contributions. Staff and the commissioners, we take service seriously, and not just throughout the day, but in the evenings as well. Often, usually quarterly, we go out and do volunteer work together to build our team, and this is a man on Main Street with all the department heads. We come together with the elected officials to help build the Habitat for Humanity homes. The commissioners do a lot of work outside of this room, and one of the most impactful initiatives is to build relationships with our local business community, and we've toured several businesses throughout the year. We have a similar pose in each of those. I think we're pretty experienced, but it's a great way to get to know our business community, to understand their needs, and see what the local government can do to help. Commissioner Andrus helping an Eagle Scout with a project and a bike stand along our Fricks Trail. We had the annual scholarship with the Hatfield PBA taking the lead to provide high school scholarships for kids going to college from the Hatfield community. Unveiled our beautiful mural. Thank you to Tina for leading us throughout those efforts. Here's a quick video recap of this weekend. Good way to celebrate a great project this past weekend, and Tina, thank you for all the work you did for that. Room in March, led by Commissioner Zimmerman, we recognized 12 outstanding women of Hatfield. As we all remember, a great way to recognize some of the achievements by some extraordinary residents here in Hatfield. Most public improvements that we've seen in this region over the past several decades is currently being constructed. The connector road, which will connect the Sumneytown Pike Turnpike entrance to Route 309, which has been discussed for years. We were able to be at the groundbreaking this year, and they're moving forward with that. More pictures from that event. The Aquatic Center partnered with the Red Cross to be the facility for the training videos that will be shown throughout the world for all lifeguards. Forged our partnership with the Garden of Health, which we will see the fruits of those labors literally coming up in 2023 as the garden begins to be developed and expand. We celebrated Dr. Harris in his 100th. I saw last year's budget. We celebrated his 99th last year.
Well, his birthday's in February, and he's going to be 100.
We'll have to celebrate his 101st in a few months, and Vice President Rogers read him a proclamation, as well as Commissioner Zimmerman there, and the other commissioners were there as well to support Dr. Harrison, our very accomplished resident. Beyond just the age, he's a very impressive person. We added new playgrounds to School Road Park, a capital improvement thanks to the Board of Commissioners. Had several cleanup days throughout the year with our volunteers that come together, which Ashley and her team just recognized this past weekend. This room fills up for other things besides public meetings, estate planning, among other seminars. We had 4 large concerts. We're finally back to normal. I feel like we've moved beyond 2020, and we're back to our very active calendar of service and activities for our residents. A successful summer camp, our Giving Tree, which is out in the lobby right now, where residents can provide gifts to families of low income throughout our area so they can have a good Christmas. The fun was back at the Aquatic Center. Thank you to Commissioner Andrus for a lot of his efforts in bringing that facility, not only creating it, but keeping it up to the status as the premier public facility in the county. Parks and Rec events are constant and evolving, as you hear Commissioner Zimmerman's updates as they continue to grow, but all the events that we have throughout the year, this is just a portion of them. Roads paved, and that actually happened this week. The green roads that you see paved, we go on the contractor schedule, and thankfully he got in before the weather hits 20s and 30s. So the green is the 2022, but look at the colors when we look at the last 12 years. Commissioners made a major commitment over a decade ago to pave all the roads in the township in a 15-year cycle, put the funding in place to do so, and we followed through with that, and we'll continue to do that, as you'll see, with over $900,000 for paving in 2023. So looking forward, that was our recap of 2022. Moving into 23, just an overview of the organization, all the appointed boards. The commissioners appoint volunteer residents to serve on all of these committees. It's a large and complicated organization and a lot of moving parts and a lot of people involved, and we're really lucky to have a lot of accomplished volunteers and led by the elected officials here. So when you look at our budget in 2023, it's not hard to see the priorities of the Board of Commissioners. Public safety, number one. 60% of the budget is for police and fire protection. In addition to that, we see infrastructure improvement, paving roads, fixing stormwater problems, parks and rec, and open space. Getting into the specifics, again, a month ago, the commissioners publicly went through a workshop where we discussed every detail of the budget. This is just a big picture overview. General fund is roughly $12 million in Hatfield Township. This is every fund under the commissioner's control, which totals to just under $19 million. And when you add in all of the employee pension funds, the commissioners control about $45 million worth of public money and do it very well. This is every penny in and out accounted for throughout all the funds that the township operates. Where the money comes from, primary source of revenue is real estate, your real estate taxes, earned income tax, your local service tax, which is that $1 you pay per paycheck per week, $2 per paycheck if you work in Hatfield Township. The Commonwealth of Pennsylvania contributes significantly to all the municipalities for pension offsets and road improvements, and then Hatfield Borough, our partner municipality, contributes as well for police services and debt payments. This is just a pie chart of revenue, where it comes from, just to give you an illustration of what I just mentioned. That's the money coming in, and then where does it go out? So you as a taxpayer in Hatfield Township, you look at your real estate taxes, and we have this conversation often, and people throw out some very large numbers that they contribute to the township, and it's not something you want to we try not to debate with them, but we do try to educate and make sure people realize that 10% of your real estate tax dollars comes to the township. 80% of it goes to the school district, and the other 10 goes to the county. By far, real estate taxes pays to educate and run the school district more so than any other government entity. Earned income tax is simply half of 1%. Residents pay 1%, and we split that with the school district. As I mentioned before, the vast majority of expenses goes to the chief's salary. Just kidding, goes to the police department in red, as well as fire protection in purple, and other costs associated with public safety, because that is the number one priority for local government. Some of the services that we intend to improve now that we have a growing community. I think everyone's aware of that as you drive through our town. We're going to be working on our new police station that is going to be suitable for what we think is the best police department around. Beginning the design process, the board just approved the agreement with our construction manager. We're meeting with the architect soon, which the board will discuss the arrangement with the architect at our next public meeting. Restructured admin staff to make sure we can keep up with the growing demands and the growing community. Scott Hutt joined our team, as you know. We have a community relations coordinator as well, and we don't want to talk too much about because we're hoping this doesn't happen, but we do have a new zoning officer as well that Ken's working with, and we'll continue Ken to not go anywhere. We can talk about that more again later. So total taxes, not just real estate taxes, but earned income, all taxes paid, federal income, state income, all of those taxes, when you look at a Hatfield resident and where those taxes go, you see the large portion is still school district, with the federal government being the second largest. You see Hatfield Township's a small little sliver of the amount of taxes that you pay as a Hatfield resident. So that little sliver, $729 as a median number for township residents. What will that get you in return for that investment? That gets you best police department you'll find with a new police station, fire protection, 2 thriving volunteer fire companies, public works department, which removes snow, maintains the roads, maintains all traffic signals, school flashers, bridges, open space, gets you a Parks and Rec program that we're proud of, gets you the best public swimming facility in the county. Our main park, School Road Park, provides all kinds of activities and sports. Lemons Park 2.0, which is coming our way, and most likely 2023, some dirt moving, but 2024 we'll have kids out there using that new inclusive playground. Schweiker Park, pickleball courts, Walnut Street Cabin, Tree Nursery, Melody Brook Park, Nature Preserve, Stratford Park, our dog park, an arboretum, street hockey, open space, trail system. So for that little sliver of the pie, where all of the local tax dollars are going to the federal government, school district, the state, the county, for that little sliver, the residents here receive the return on their investment in what I just showed, which we think is pretty good value. Moving forward to 2023 as well, some grants, big grants we're going to be pursuing. Wellshore Villa, we're finalizing the design to fix that intersection. We're going to pursue funding to build the intersection. Police station. Commissioners put the township in a great position to be able to borrow to build the station without any additional funding. However, we're going to pursue grants aggressively, and we're confident that we're going to bring in a significant amount of money from the state and other organizations to help offset the cost of that from the local taxpayers. Liberty Bell Trail, we've talked about, already received $1 million to build a portion of that. We're going to continue to pursue funding to make the connections to Lansdale and Franconia and all the communities around us. And FEMA grant that we're still waiting on. I think FEMA has blocked my emails because I email them every 3 days asking what is the status of these 4 homes, because we have 4 families that aren't rebuilding their house because they're afraid it's going to flood. They're in a place of limbo similar to the residents of Orvilla that we worked with for that intersection improvement. So once we hear back from FEMA, hopefully we have some great news to share publicly with these 4 families. But that's something at this point it looks like it's going to fall into 2023. Quick highlights of the 23 budget. No tax increase, like Mr. President said. Police station design. We're going to pave Frick's Trail, a trail that is used very often. A lot of feedback from people in strollers, wheelchairs, rollerbladers, cyclists. They want to see it paved, and we're going to pave that in 2023. Clements Park expansion. I said before, $900,000 in the paving roads. We have the federal stimulus money to help us invest in our stormwater. We're going to digitize all of the township property files in 2023, which the commissioners funded, so we'll be able to access all of those electronically and be able to share those with residents via email rather than coming in and looking through files. A reserve fund, which I remember in this room created 9-10 years ago, about making sure we're financially in a good position, and we chipped away at that, and now we're at $1 million reserve, which it will sit. Finalize Welsh and Orvilla, and then Garden of Health, where the community will come together to help grow vegetables for low-income families in the region. So at this point, commissioners, like in years past, if the board approves this to move forward, the budget will be posted in the lobby and will be posted for 20 days. The board will then consider approval on the 21st of December, and finally our little farewell to a legend here in Hatfield who's not going anywhere, but this is our gathering, and this just shows us as a group, and it's just something that we take very seriously. We don't take the support of this community for granted. We are truly honored to serve this town, and we hope to continue to do so for many years to come. So, Commissioners, thank you for your time tonight, and thank you for all of your leadership in getting us into this position financially and otherwise.